Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty. Today we're going to talk about autism and living independently. I'm in the process of making a webpage on my website, which is dustinsdynastyusa.com. I was kind of inspired to do it from a vlogger called the Aspie World online. He's from the UK, and he discussed living independently and what options there are. While the options are different in the UK, I thought I would share some about what is available in the United States. While they vary from state to state, there are pretty generic formats of living, and they're very important. For understanding what works for your autistic individual, or if you're autistic, and what would you feel would work for you. So I feel that we need to go through these details and figure this out, and I will explain the different types of options you have when you are wanting to become independent. If you want to learn about becoming independent, and if you're to learn what you need to be ready, watch my last video that was also released just recently. The first one, of course, staying at home with parents or other relatives. From the limited research that exists, it is fair to say that over half of the autistic adults live with parents or other family members, such as your siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles. Staying at home with family has the advantage of avoiding the issues of transition related to living arrangements in the short term, but should an unforeseen circumstance, the caregiver is unable to continue their role in this role, the autistic adult may be uprooted unexpectedly. Family members provide daily living support without the assistance of privately or publicly provided home assistance. Housing expenses and support programs are financed with a combination of parents' income and income that the autistic individual makes, and public benefits such as Medicaid waivers, social supplemental security income, or Social Security disability insurance. Adult foster care, we call that domiciliary care here in Pennsylvania, but it could be a multiple of things. It could be, but for Pennsylvania, it's called domiciliary care, and it consists of adult living in a family setting with other than his or her own parents or relatives. The state states regulate foster care just like any other foster care for juveniles. Adult foster care parents may be compensated by state agencies, or Medicaid, or by the autistic individual and his or her family. If an autistic individual receives SSI, this can be used to pay for the foster care family. Institutions, sometimes called developmental centers, or large care facilities, sometimes far away from home, or even in a different state. All supportive services are delivered by staff within the facility. In general, the state in which an autistic individual lives will need to be approved of the placement if state funding is to be provided. A United States Supreme Court ruling of 1999, which was known as the Olmstead decision, that confirming that individuals living in state institutions for no medical reason is a form of discrimination, and it violates the ADA of 1990, and that individuals should receive community-based services wherever appropriate. State funding may come from a Medicaid waiver or other Medicaid programs such as the ICF for MR funding. Families may also pay privately for the associated services. Prior to the 1970s, autistic individuals were routinely institutionalized rather than being integrated in the community. While this institutionalization is now a less preferred option for many families, some nonetheless choose this option because of the stability of the placement, with assuming state funding and the predictability of care. However, as stated by the Olmstead decision, this severely diminishes the life's activities of the individual, including family relations, social contacts, work options, economic independence, educational achievement, and cultural enhancement. Many states are closing institutions which previously housed autistic individuals and those with other disabilities. Thus, the stability of institutional placement is questionable. The next is a group home or a community living arrangement. Group homes are are community-based houses in which several unrelated people with disabilities live alongside rotating support staff who ensure that help is available at all times. Some are exclusive to autistic individuals, while others contain the 3 to 4 residents with disabilities. Group homes are owned by agencies which also employ, train, and supervise the staff. Support staff are charged with fostering independent living skills both at home and in the community. Finding available in a particular community or state, group homes support staff in the community. Finding a group home placement can be difficult. However, zoning regulations, as well as limiting the number of homes available in a particular community. Group homes are financed with a combination of a parent's income, any income the autistic individual makes, other public benefits such as Medicaid, whether it's SSI or SSDI. The next one is cooperative living. Co-ops, similar to group homes, except the house itself is owned by a group of families or individuals who have formed a cooperative agreement. The group hires an agency or independent caregivers to support the residents within the home. The families or individuals involved in setting up the co-op may choose to form a limited liability company, or LLC, an entity similar to a corporation which provides liability protection. If you are interested in setting up a co-op, be sure to consult an attorney who may not only guide you through the legalities of this, but also can help guide you in securing a location that doesn't violate zoning or other ordinances. In addition to personal finances, public benefits may also be used to pay for support services. The next one is supervised living. Supervised living is similar to a group home or a co-op that an autistic individual may live with a support provider. However, the support provider in supervised living may not provide as much hands-on support, and instead the support provider's role is to supervise and be available as needed. Depending on the number of unrelated individuals in the home, zoning may be an issue. Funding for the supervised living comes from a combination of parents' income, any income the individual may have, and public benefits. The next one is supported living. Adults who live in a home or apartment and who need some level to do so successfully may contract with agencies or independent service providers to check in and help with the task of daily living. For example, an aide can come in to be hired to come into the house on weekday mornings to help the individual with the task of daily living. For example, an aide can be hired to come in and make sure that they are getting ready by helping prepare meals, assisting with finances. The adult may live on his or her own or may have roommates. Funding for supported living may come from a combination of personal finances and public benefits. Lastly, of course, independent living. Some autistic adults are capable of living independently. Of course, like all people, it is a good idea to have a support system in place. Friends, coworkers, family who can be contacted in the event of illness, tragedy, or even just loneliness. Adults may have their own place to rent, such as an apartment, a house, a room in another family's home, and so on. Adults living on their own or with a roommate may qualify for housing assistance, such as housing choice vouchers, which is a program led by the federal government and can assist low-income families, the elderly, and the disabled afford decent, safe, affordable, and sanitary housing in the private market. Other public benefits may also be used for support services as allowed by the particular program. So with that being said, that goes, we started with the lowest scale, which would be almost the lowest scale, which is staying at home, to the most successful or the most less level of care. We started with the highest level of care as being with family, and then we went all the way down to being independent. So, you have to figure out what the choice is, and that's family and a unilateral decision. But, you have to figure that out for yourself, and there's lots of options, and I will be creating a independent living page under the resources tab of my website in the near future. So we are gathering resources, so if anybody knows anything, be sure to message the page or message me or message the website so that we can get information out there. All right. that, thank you. Have a good week. As always, like, follow, and subscribe. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. So thank you, and we're always on the web at DustinsDynastyUSA.com. Thank you.